My name is Mikey, and I love dead people. Do you ever go walking around your town and you see like a sign of something or a park named after somebody and think, who is that guy? Why is this important? Well, I found something like that near my house, and let's go ahead and investigate.
This is Hela Seegmiller Farm. At first I thought it was like Hela, like short for Helen, but no, it's Hela, which is short for Helaman, which is a name that you only hear in Utah, kind of like Orson or Hiram or Jessica spelled stupid like this. We'll talk about who Helaman Seegmiller is a little later on. But let's take a look around the farm, shall we? I'm not going to lie, this place is like exceptionally boring. There's a bunch of buildings all around the property, but none of them are labeled with a plaque or anything, so there's no explanation at all about what they were or what they were used for or anything like that. Hey, want to know what this building was used for? Me too. Guess we'll never know. Okay, so we got some horses over here. That's kind of interesting. My wife has a blindfold too. Not to help her sleep, but just to keep her from seeing me naked. I want to apologize to whoever has to clean up that outhouse. I had no idea it wasn't functional. See, this is why we need signs. Here's a little fish pond that doesn't have any fish in it. Kind of green and gross. I bet it was Antifa. My gosh, even the statues are bored. I don't know if this was Hela Seegmiller's house or what. Again, everything's locked up, so there's no way to know. The only way to look inside is to stare in the window like a creep. Found the bedroom. What is this building for? What does it do? Who put it there? Who? Gah. Think of all the fun times that were never had here. I bet this is the house where Helaman's wife, Mary, just sat around and stared at stuff, waiting for him to come home. Nowadays, housewives have people like pool boys and yoga instructors to keep them company, but back then they had nothing. What a time to be alive. Motown Philly back again. Remember that song? Let's look at a goat's butthole. It's the butthole of a goat. Fun fact, I once did a wedding in this barn, and the couple got a divorce like 2 months later. Not my fault. Womp womp, no refunds. You can't have a roll in the hay until you're married in the barn. Okay, I thought the signs would make it more interesting, but I guess I was wrong. Well, I'm feeling Hela good, so I'm gonna keep on dancing. Remember that song? All right, so we've seen the farm. I don't know much about Hela Seegmiller. I'm gonna have to look some stuff up.
Okay. I did a simple Google search, and that's how I was able to find out that Hela was short for Helaman. So what I know so far is that Helaman Seegmiller had a wife named Mary, and he also had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And I know you may be thinking to yourself, Mikey, why are you putting yourself through this? Why do you even care? I don't know. I do this a lot. It's a genuine problem. I see a historical marker and I go, I wonder what the deal is with that. And I try to figure it out. Sometimes I find stuff that I don't want to find out. I really hope Hela's not a murderer. All right, so simple Google stuff. It came up with he was a cowboy. He lived on the Arizona Strip, sold cattle. He grew grapes. He had a wife. He had a ton of kids. That still doesn't give me a good portrait of what this dude was about. Now I'm going to go on to Family Search. Found out that he was my wife's first cousin 3 times removed, whatever that means. They're related, which means I have free reign to make all the jokes I want about this guy. That's how it works, right? Thanks, Family Search. Family Search when you need to make jokes about a dead guy. Hey, Hela looks Hela mad, if you know what I mean. All right, fine. This man is a true Dixie pioneer. His early breakfast was plain and spare. His vacations were in the grueling cattle drives to the railroad at Modena. Oh my gosh, that's depressing. His best companion was his horse, and it was from the saddle he met his death. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, so he was, whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh, that sucks. Turns out he did have some excitement.
It was the Friday after Thanksgiving when Hela Seegmiller was riding his horse home from the farm on this bridge. It was pretty dark outside, and someone in a car didn't see him. They went tearing around this corner, and by the time the motorist saw Hela, it was too late. The car spooked the horse, threw Hela off of his horse, and he hit his head on one of the metal beams. He lost consciousness, and 3 days later, he died. So... okay, let's tell a happy story. The family tells a story about how Hela was one day outside of this building, which used to be a pharmacy. He hitched his horse right out front, and when he came out with a shopping bag, the sound of the bag freaked out his horse. His belt loop was attached to the saddle and ripped his pants right off. The lady who worked in the pharmacy totally freaked out, just started screaming bloody murder. Hela was like, I don't care, sun's out, buns out. This is how I roll. Then rode his horse a few blocks over to the tithing office and got a new pair. Getting your pants ripped off is one thing, but being cool about it, that's just legendary. It was right here on this very spot that there used to be a school. Well, one day, Helaman was being a real pain in the teacher's butt, and the teacher said, hey, go pick your switch. For our younger viewers, that means, I'm going to beat you with a stick. Go outside and pick which one. Teachers used to beat kids with sticks. That's probably why your grandparents are so weird. Anyway, Helaman, being the smart little devil that he was, brought back a log. That was so heavy the teacher couldn't pick it up. So by default, he got out of a whooping. I'm really starting to like this guy.
Okay, so I just found another story while I was editing. Hela Seegmiller used to be in rodeos, but after a while he stopped because he didn't like how the animals were being mistreated. Aww. I know! Also, he won first place for being the best dressed cowboy. Looks like Helaman was a dapper Dan. By the way, if anyone in the Seegmiller family has pictures of Hela as a rhinestone cowboy, I'm going to need to see that. Okay, back to work.
June 26, 1912, Hela Seegmiller married his sweetheart Mary right here in the St. George, Utah LDS Temple. I did some mathing, and I figured out that he didn't get married until he was 41 years old. 41! I mean, in Utah years, that's like 150. Now, why did he wait so long to get married? I don't know. Maybe not the right person came along. Maybe he was spending too much time on the range. Or maybe everybody in town was like, hey, aren't you that guy who lost his pants? So dating was tough. 41. Hey, better late than never, am I right? And yes, he only had one wife. Jeez, you guys.
So we've learned a bunch of things about Helaman Seegmiller. He was a hard-working, marriage-procrastinating, accidental nudist who lived his life right where the world was shifting from riding horses to driving cars. And sadly, he left this world with a literal collision of the two. So I feel like I've got a better idea of who he was. But before I end this video, there's one more person that I need to talk to.
Hela, Marianne, how's it going? Listen, I'm sorry I called your farm boring. I didn't know. I mean, it's still a little boring, but... all right, I'll see ya.